folks, today we have ourselves one of the ugly children of Magic the Gathering, a collector booster box of Aetherdrift. A little bit of shine there. I picked this up today as a trade-in because I happen to like Aetherdrift, actually. I quite like opening it. I think the art is really interesting. And please excuse as I cannot open... Don't play with knives, kids. Well, you know what that means. It's got the serialized Aether Spark in there. And that's, of course, what we're looking for, right? With Aetherdrift, I agree, there's not that many grand cards in there. But I think it's a playable set. Mostly in Commander. I think the speed system is probably where it falls flat on the biggest. It's just not that interesting of a thing. I like how it works, and I hope they add stuff to it. We have, of course, our box topper. You always got to finish with the box topper. Box topper's dessert, man. You can get some really interesting gold foil, or first place foil, or piss foil, depending on who you are. But Aetherdrift, I kind of like it. Let's start with the right side first. We're going to open packs on the right side first. I wasn't actually really around playing Magic the Gathering super actively when Aetherdrift first released, so I've kind of been getting into it posthumously. But box prices actually have remained pretty simple, so it's a fun one to get into. And, like, I'm going to be honest, this is funny. I like this art. I like the foiling on it. It's exhaust. You know, exhaust is something. Ooh, a Gear Hulk. I think the Gear Hulks hold some value. I think, at least. I'm not sure if any of them are good, but that's going to be our Mythic. We're going to have a Cycling. I actually don't mind this, right? A Cycling X, that's pretty cool. Wizened Mentor. Zombies and stuff. Very interesting, very interesting. A little Simic Commander. I love Simic, all right? I don't know if you guys are Simic-y fellows, but I am very much a Simic-y boy, okay? I am very much a Simic-y boy. I love my green and blue. Also, I think the lands are kind of cool looking. I'm going to be honest. I think the lands actually look pretty sick, right? Plow Through, Goblins, a lot of low-cost ones that we're getting right now. And that could be pretty useful overall, especially in Commander, right? Sometimes you just need some really low-cost cards. Trying to keep my piles organized here. A Midnight Mingler. A Streaking Oil Gorger. Interesting. I like the art in this set. I know that's one of the contentious pieces of the set, right? Some of the art. I actually think it's really interesting looking. The theming is weird. I agree. The theming is weird. Count on Luck. It's not actually bad. It's not a bad enchantment, actually. But I can kind of get behind the theming, right? It's kind of interesting. But this art I actually enjoy. I think it's actually really cool looking. Yeah, some of the mechanics in it really aren't all that, you know. But I have to say, the full arts look cute. And if you're building a vehicles deck, right? I mean, this is obviously going to be the place to get it. And the lands even look great for it. Dude, I'm losing track of my piles here. Oh my god. For me, though, we're looking for a Chrome Mox. Who doesn't want a Mox? I'm on a mission. One day I want to pull every single Mox. My little Mox madness idea. I've seen other people do it. I want to do it. I love the Moxes. They're fun. They're cool. And I want them for my decks, man. I have a Sammy the Wildcat Captain deck. She just got her Lotus Petal and Sensei's Divining Top. So, next up is Mox Town, baby. That's what we're looking for. Oh, another Gear Hulk. Very cool, very cool. I think either there's one Gear Hulk that's quite good, or the Gear Hulks themselves are quite desirable. But you know what? I like it. Energy counters. Come on, man. I really hope they do away with energy counters pretty soon. Or even better than that, actually. Give them more of a reason to exist. They're, you know, don't get me wrong. You can still do some cool stuff with energy counters, but... I don't know. Oh, Spell Pierce. Very nice. Very nice to get a Spell Pierce. See, and this is another weird thing. Why do we introduce a legendary creature with nothing? I mean, I guess it's a big guy right there. I suppose you could build that as kind of an interesting commander. Like Voltron, Stacks, something like that. Not Stacks. Crag. Nice. Okay. Well, we're really looking for the verges. When it comes to lands, we're obviously looking for verges. Okay, the verge lands are where we're at. And unless I'm right about the Gear Hulks being good, these first few packs have been kind of stinkers, I'm going to be honest. I have certainly opened better from Aetherdrift. I have opened, you know, individual packs of Aetherdrift. I've opened packs before too, just in general, but don't let that fool you the way I was trying to open it. I have opened it. They have been good. I think this guy's kind of cute. He's a cutie. I don't really know what he does. Let's see. Ooh, X +1/+1. Hey, there you go. That's not bad, actually. Sack the artifact. Actually, you know what? I think that is going to go in my Sammy deck. That's a pretty good one. Simicky Lady in full art. Hello. Ooh, a mythic, I think, face commander. I think she is. Another vehicle in full art, and another vehicle in full art. Like, I gotta say, look, one of these days, I feel like someone's gonna crack the code on vehicle decks. Maybe I will build a vehicle deck. It does seem kind of like a fun idea. Saltwater Cliffs, very nice. Yes, but the only issue is I don't want saltwater cliffs. I want verges. Okay, verge lands are the good lands. Verge lands are the ones that everyone wants from this set. Who doesn't love dual lands, or lands that can produce 2 types of mana that enter untapped? Shockies, verges, turbulence, unstoppable pain. That's actually kind of a cool spell. Ooh, kind of neat hit. Oh yeah, River Churn. Like River Churn, I have a friend who has a all frogs deck, and River Churn Monument is in there. Oh yes. Woo! As far as I can tell, this has not been bringing the heat. Aetherdrift, I was talking you up. I was talking about how fun you were to open, and you are just messing with me, man. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, you know, bestow greatness. You could always bestow some. Let's bestow some greatness on this box, okay? Why don't we make this box an auto win? This is the last pack of the right half. Maybe all the hits are in the left half, but let's make this an auto win box with a Moxs, or, well, preferably a serialized. I mean, if I'm being picky here, right? Oh, well, there's a special guest, right? Not the one we want. See, there is a special guest with Metalcraft that I'm looking for. Not Galvanic Blast, unfortunately. That's really not what we're looking for. That's a tease. Hopefully that means, there we go. And a Verge. There we go. Full art Verge. The Orzhov Verge. Very nice. Hopefully that means the box is hearing me about getting some special guests in here. Vinwixt. This guy, actually, I want to build as a commander. Right? I think this guy would be a really interesting commander with the speed ability. So, glad to have him. Probably going to build him. Oh, I like the basic lands, actually. The ones from the box toppers, not super really. I don't really know why they put basic lands in a box topper. I get that they were kind of rounding out the box toppers when they had those basic lands put in there, but yeah. All right, first half of the box. Unless Galvanic Blast is somehow way more valuable than I think it is, not great. We have had 3 mythics, right? Out of 6 packs, 3 mythics. So, you know, unless those Gear Hulks hold something, I mean, hey, you know, a foil Start Your Engines token. That's actually pretty cute. That looks really cute, actually. Kind of into that. All right, come on. Let's do something great. Let's show Joseph a Mox here, okay? Let's get a Moxie. I do like cats. Love cats. Hello, Nissa. Energy Nissa. I suppose that's not bad. Energy Landfall Nissa. I'm sure there's an interesting build there. But yeah, I would really prefer to see something Moxie, something serialized. I mean, at this point, just an Aether Spark or maybe a Japanese Showcase, right? Fracture Foil. I could use a Fracture Foil. They're not supremely valuable from this set, but I do love my fractures. Oh, a little bit of a max speed land. That's kind of interesting. I'll put that to the side. Whew. Well, right now I'm feeling very grateful that I traded in for this box and didn't spend my own money, because we are getting stanked on. Look at that dragon, though. A dinosaur dragon. Ooh. I have a dragons deck. I do love dragons. Hey, there we go. Foil full art Verge. Nice. Okay, so we're getting some on the Verges. The Verges are showing up. Let's see. Oh, all creatures lose indestructible. That's pretty good, actually. Skyseer Chariot. That's very pretty. It's very pretty art. Wings of Gold on Wings of Gold. The Last Ride. The Last Ride is kind of interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. It is a mythic, and so far I think it's the only mythic we've gotten from this side of the box. Good lord, Aetherdrift, what are we doing? Whew, did I buy the worst box of Aetherdrift? Or is this just how Aetherdrift normally is? No, it's not. It's not. Aetherdrift may not be a great set, but I have opened some of the bundles, some of the individual packs, and there tends to be something fun, something interesting in there. So far, this box is pretty mad at me. Yeah, my local game store manager, he said, don't do it. He really did. He did. He said, don't open it, man. I said, I have to. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, unfortunately in Japanese. I wish that this was in English, but I believe this is the best showcase card of Radiant Lotus. Very pretty, very pretty. Oh my goodness, I've just thrown everything around. Very pretty. I can't really be mad about getting a Radiant Lotus. It's beautiful art. I don't know what it goes for in Japanese, but hey, that's exciting. That's very exciting. And then we get this crazy insect guy. Create a 1/1 insect for each artifact. Oh, in your graveyard. That's fun. Insects, graveyards. I love graveyards. Ah, a debris beetle, a little poop beetle. Why is it not an insect? You'd think the poop beetle thing would be an insect, right? Well, okay. Hey, another verge. Cool. Verges, verges. We love some verges. Ranger's Refueler. Ranger. Okay. All right. We only have 3 packs left. We've gotten our Japanese showcase, and it was unfortunately in Japanese. I will say I do love the Laurelwind Eclipse change, where those are always in English, if you're in English packs, and always in Japanese, if you're in Japanese packs, because that is the language that you speak. At least presumably. But I can't lie, a Radiant Lotus, I love my Lotuses. One day, with the exception of the Black Lotus, because there's no way I'll ever be that rich, one day I would love to collect the Lotuses, all of them. They're so pretty. I just kind of love the history of it. This guy's cool looking. Look at this Ghost Raider here. Oh my god, that's a nice foiling. Hope that's picking up. Wow. Monument to Endurance. That's not bad. That's not bad. Monument to Endurance, if I remember correctly, it's pretty decent. Pretty decent. Thopters. Who doesn't love Thopters? Look, Thopters. More Thopter synergy. Hey, Sabsunin. Lexia. Yeah, I have a friend who has this in her Frogs deck. The same Frog deck from earlier. Sabsunin, kind of an interesting creature. Pretty fun, though. Very fun to mess with as well. I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of proliferating her so that she can't block you. That is so funny. That is a good time. Always a good time. Sabsunin. Sabsunin? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. But hey, great to have it in foil. Great to have it in foil. I hope we pull the Sabsunin island from the box topper. Well, we only have 2 chances left to hit a Moxs or a serialized. Seeing as we've already hit a special guest. And otherwise, this box has been pretty stinky. I don't think it's going to cough up a serial, you know, but district mascot, right? It's a dog mount. Kind of interesting. +1/+1 counters. I like +1/+1 counters. I'm a +1/+1 counter guy. Hey, another Verge land, though. Full art Verge land. Like I said, we are not going to be upset about. This is a vampire mount. Very interesting. The Lost Monarch of Ifnir. Mu Yenling, the Wind Rider. Wow, I can't read today. Very pretty, very pretty. Like I said, I think the art in this set is actually very pretty. I like this art. I think it's very beautiful. I wish it was on cards that maybe were a little more useful. That being said, I actually think of the Chrome Mox art, I think it's my least favorite. Not that I don't like the Chrome Mox art from this one, but I do think the one from the Master sets and Mirrodin, stuff like that, very good. All right, last pack. Will this have magic? Will we Mox out? Will we get an Aetherspark? Not even just a serialized one. How about we just get an Aetherspark? I would love an Aetherspark, okay? Love Planeswalkers. All right, come on now. Show me. Nope. All right, nothing. This box is just... wow. Perhaps I have bought the most foul box of Aetherdrift ever printed. And unfortunately, that is saying a lot. Wow, this was bad. Oh my goodness. Again, I am so glad that I traded in for this and did not spend any of my own money on it. Good lord. Well, coming up to the last uncommons and commons, we get a gain land. That's what everyone wants out of these. I need Wizards to print less Gainlands. I will say I did end up coughing up a decent amount of mythics at the end there, and we did get a special guest and a Radiant Lotus. That's very pretty. I'm going to put that in a sleeve. That's gorgeous, actually. That art's beautiful. Oh, yeah. Pretty card. Pretty card. Very nice. Very nice. Well, considering it goes for 21 whole dollars in English, I have to imagine maybe like $5. So, you know, I'll check the Gear Hulks as well. I feel like I remember something about Gear Hulks having a little bit of juice to them, but I don't know. Ah, I see. If they were in the showcase from our box topper, which we of course still have to open. Ooh, box topper. Well, okay, this box was terrible. Perhaps that's because it is Aetherdrift. Perhaps I just got very unlucky. Sometimes it can be hard to tell. All right, but this is really the moment we've all been waiting for. The reason one opens an Aetherdrift is to see what you get in the yellow. In the yellow. What is yellow? A basic land and a something. Can we hit the Moxs? Probably not. What land do we get? We get a Plains. We get a Plains. And a rare, so definitely not Moxs, is this guy. Whoever the Guardian Sunmare is. I imagine this is worth maybe $1. So, well, thank you for tuning in for the worst box of Aetherdrift potentially opened in the history of Aetherdrift. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know, join the channel, give a subscribe. I'll be having more product to open later on, and maybe we'll even hit something.